Hey guys. Hey Simone. Hey Alexis. Hey Demetria. Hey Anitra. Did I say that correctly? Welcome. You guys, we are on the early scope train. I am super excited. Super duper excited. Yes, happy Friday. So I'm gonna ask you guys, hey Liz, what you want to talk about, because I have two things. So I know, Simone, it has been, because I've been only scoping like on Fridays, kind of Wednesdays, more like just on Fridays. But the scope game is about to increase. Thank you so much, Demetria, for sharing on Twitter. The scope game is so about to increase, and I will be sharing, and I will be up, and I'm gonna spend all day tomorrow getting ready for our scope-a-thon that's about to go down. Thank you. I'm ready to go back curly, you guys. I am over straight. I like the curly. So I was like, oh my God, the straight hair. So, but I'm gonna go back to the curly. I'll probably broaden this baby up tonight or tomorrow. Yes. So tonight, you guys, I have to be off like in 45 minutes exactly, maybe 40, because I have another appointment at 7 o'clock. But I want to go ahead and jump right in. Some of you guys, if you were part of the series yesterday, you got a perspective of a little bit of what I'm going to talk about. If any of you guys who was on the call last night with the Girls Talk movement for the bridal shower, anybody? I know Demetria was. Anybody else? Let me know. While you do that, let me take a minute to introduce myself. For those who don't know me for the first time, hey. My name is Jill Bullock, and I'm the best-selling author of the book, The Biggest Lies Women Believe About Men, Dating, and Themselves, Discovering the Truth to a Fabulous Life and Fabulous Relationship. I am known as the dating breakthrough strategist. I am known as the reinvent your life, right? What we saying, Demetria? New life, new love. That's what I am here to do with you and for you, because in this season, what I know to be true, once you get your mind right, then you can get focused on your mission. And once you do all that, that will naturally attract the right person into your life. Okay. So I'm all about that transformational life. I'm all about reinventing yourself each and every day into the next best version. Because right now you should already be working on your 2020 you. Right? If you're not working on the 2020 you are behind, and I want you to catch up. So listen. So you guys, that's who I am. That's who I be. I also have the Sexless Single book. I was trying to see if I have it around here. I don't see it. It talks about how to stay sexless in a sexful world. Yes. I saw Pastor Elliot, I believe, came in. I don't know if you're still on. Shout out to you. God bless you. So glad you're able to join us tonight, you guys. So y'all ready? If y'all ready, type ready. So tonight I'm going to be sharing with you, 3 barriers to love. 3 things that will stop you, that will hinder you, that will prevent you, that will cause to put some salt into your love game. Hey, man of God, how are you? It just will put some salt, pepper, all kind of stuff. You like, listen, you don't want that up in your life. Okay? So I'm going to share with you guys, and this is something I haven't shared on this platform. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story about one of these things. Okay? And then I'm going to share about a couple of other things. So the first thing that will really just kill your whole game when you're trying to out here living the life that you love and attracting the love of your life, one thing that will crush that, one thing that will block that, one thing that will like just put like a yield sign, a stop sign all up and through what you're trying to do out in these streets is being connected and being part of a soul tie. If you are subject to a soul tie, which is pretty much when you are so emotionally connected with another human being, and there's various soul ties. It can be healthy soul ties, and it can be unhealthy soul ties. The soul ties I'm talking about right now are unhealthy soul ties with somebody that you have a deep bond with emotionally, often resulting from a sexual relationship outside of marriage. And you still have some type of feelings for this person. You still have a desire to be with this person. You somehow, you know what I'm saying, you have a yearning for this person. Okay, let me tell you my own story. Is that okay? If you guys want to hear my story, say, please tell me. So share, girl, share. Listen, I want to share with you a little bit about my personal journey about soul ties, and it can be so real. It can really cause you to be so stuck and really make you act and show up in a way that you never thought you would act or show up. Okay, they're saying share. So I can recall on my 21st birthday, right? When I was in college, I wasn't a clubber, but every now and again, I would get a little, like, listen, I need to go out. I need to meet somebody. I always found myself in these exclusive relationships. So in the times I wasn't in a relationship, I desired to be in a relationship. So I want to go out to meet somebody. So I convinced my girlfriend, because it was both our birthday weekend. We were both turning 21. And I'm like, listen, if you don't turn up no other time in your life, when your 21st birthday come through, you like, I gotta turn up, right? So that was my whole flow at the time. So I went to this club, me and my girlfriend, and we met this guy. He was an Ethiopian guy. He was looking fine. My phone was dead. God was trying to block right there. Listen, we was determined. Her phone was dead. My phone was dead. But we were determined I was determined for us to remember this guy's number. So he dropped the number to us, and naturally the next day when I got home, I called him and he was like, okay, yeah, he has an accent. So he's kind of like, yeah, girl, you want me to come through and pick you up, or you gonna come through, me and my homeboy just chilling, you and your girlfriend can come through, you know how you do in college and all of that. So whatever. I'm like, Tony, you can't let me go to this guy's house by myself. I don't know this dude, he's fine, but same time, man, I don't know you. So my girlfriend and I end up going over to his house, and before you know it, he's like trying to pursue me right then on the spot. And he's trying to tell me, this is the first encounter with this person outside the club. And he's like telling me, you're going to be my girlfriend. I'm going to be your man, and just trying to sell me this dream. And listen, I got to tell you, when I was in high school, I used to date dope dealers, in and out of jail, boys that was smoking marijuana, parents might have been on drugs, parents very low income. So this guy was coming. He was an engineer. He had his master's degree. He was, listen, he was bringing it. I'm like, listen, I felt like Beyonce. I was like, he just upgraded my whole life. Not the love. What? Okay. Listen, he upgraded my whole entire life. So I'm like, well, listen, my last boyfriend was a high school dropout. He's in jail, currently at the time, okay? I'm just like, this is working out for my life. So, long story short, I allowed this guy to convince me that he should be my boyfriend. I don't know if it was that day, maybe by the second or third date. Yeah, don't laugh, Demetri. It's sad. It's sad. And I gotta say, I thank God for delivering me from the spirit of lust, because I'd be like, oh my God, he's so fine. He's so fine. I was on that fine. Fine? Woo. Anyway, let me move the story along. So long story short, we end up in a relationship. But soon I would find out that one day go past, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. And on the 7th day, he'll finally call me. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. But every time he would call me, I end up going onto his house. And, he had these black plaid sheets on his bed, the pattern, in his room, the little college room with his roommate and all of that. Okay. Yes, he was ghost. But then he calling me Jalita. That's my birth name. Jalita, you coming over? What's up, babe? Come on, babe. Stop tripping. I'm like, this dude. Right? So, okay, I went. Okay, then we go back. We started getting into a cycle. One day go past, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And on the 6th day, this joker, Jalita, you coming over? What's good? I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, at first I thought I was in a relationship, but I soon find out that this was a sexual relation. This was more like just a sexual relationship that was masked as a relationship. So again, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, on the 5th day, he's calling me, telling me, Jalita, you want to come over? And next thing you know, I'm experiencing all the time is this black plaid sheets and sex. These black plaid sheets and sex. Constantly black plaid sheets and sex. And I'm like, Lord, I'm not that chick. I'm not no chick that's just going to be having sex with a guy. He's my boyfriend, but he's really not my boyfriend. It was just crazy. And I just found myself constantly submitting to him. That song, I was up there listening to, not Aaliyah, what's the girl name? Talking about when you call, I come running. What is my girl name? When you call, I come running. I can't sing, you guys. Baby. What is her name? She sang that song. That was me. 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, booty call all day. And I'm thinking like I'm in a relationship with this guy, but I was in a soul tie relationship. You know, it wasn't a relationship of love. This guy didn't respect me. He really didn't take me out. But because I had submitted to myself in a sexual way and I was giving him myself willingly, whatever he wanted to do that, I was in a soul tie relationship. So finally one day, I had to be like, Lord, you gotta help me with this. I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, I'm in a situation. This ain't working out for my life. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And you guys, hold on. It gets worse. It gets worse. Y'all want to hear the juice? If you want to hear the juice, type juice. If you want to hear the juice, it gets worse, you guys. It gets worse. Let me tell you the juice. So, this dude. I get a phone call. They put in juice. Juice, please, juice. Juice it up. Listen, I get a phone call. And they're like, yes, can we speak to Joe Bullock or whatever my name was at the time, Jolita Griffin or whatever my name was at the time, okay? And I'm like, yes. You know, and I was looking at the phone like, who is this chick calling my line? Like, I don't recognize her voice. This is not his sister. I'm like, who is this? You know, so, and she's like, yeah, I'm calling from such and such clinic. And I'm calling to tell you that you came across somebody who had an STD. I'm like, what? I'm like, I've been in an exclusive relationship. Like, always been in an exclusive relationship. I wasn't a person to sleep around, you know, but I would find myself in these committed relationships, which I thought at the time, come on, let me just be honest. At the time, me being in an exclusive relationship gave me permission to be intimate with somebody unprotectedly because I'm thinking this is safe sex. If it's two people and we're both allegedly, exclusively dating, then by default, listen, we're having safe sex. Come on, y'all. Y'all know they teach that at sex edge. Y'all go to the clinic, get checked, both exclusively. Okay, y'all get my point. So I'm like tripping. So immediately I call this dude, like, dude, what the heck, man? I'm just getting a call from the clinic talking about I came across somebody with STDs. And listen, at the time, marriage of God, I was taking a class called Confronting AIDS. I don't know about you guys, but I'm that type of person. Like, somebody called me with news sometimes, you know, and I'm thinking God's delivering me from this. Like, I always thinking worst case scenario. Like, what? I got STD. What kind of STD? Is it curable? Oh my God. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking worse. So I'm automatically, because I'm taking that class, that's like the thing that's on the top of my mind, that I'm automatically thinking that this could be my life right now. Like my whole entire life. And like, this is crazy. Y'all know about some forgiveness and repentance coming real quick. What? Listen. If I wasn't praying before, I was praying then. I just got to be honest. So naturally, you know, I went to the clinic, got checked out. Thank God I didn't have anything and everything worked out. And I later learned that was his girlfriend from LA playing a trick on me because she wanted me to call his name. I told her I fixed her real good. Listen, I got hood on her real quick. Okay, I got hood on her real quick. I was like, listen, if somebody gave you my number and told you that they were sleeping with me and that I contracted STD, then they gave it to me. So that's the name you need to know. The person that gave you my name is the person that gave it to me. So we've stopped the spreading right there. Like, bam. Yes, boom. Boom. Yes. So we don't need to have no more further conversation today. You know, so anyway, later this dude told me that was his girlfriend or friend or whoever, how he said it, from San Diego. I mean, not from San Diego, from LA, trying to, I'm like, really? Oh my God. Anyway, the bottom line of the whole story is you can get caught up in soul ties when you're submitting. And like that, I was all out of character, you know, allowing him to just use me in that way, use me for sex, being a doormat, not standing up for myself. I didn't demand him to take me on a date. You know, people need to hear this. It's true. It's true because honestly, you can be blinded by love. You can be a smart person. You can be educated. None of that matters. What I know, if you guys aren't familiar with me, I bring in the spiritual and I also bring in the psychological, right? Because it's a real thing. And a lot of times you don't necessarily, unless you really go to a class, you don't learn it. And even sometimes in a class, you can't really line at how that's happening in your life because there's not only just intellect, right? You need to have emotional intelligence. You need to have what they call social intelligence. You need to know how to interact, and you need to have a level of self-awareness of how you are allowing yourself to operate in a relationship. And not only that, you need to understand why. Because if you are a woman of God and you are saying, listen, Lord, I surrender to you. Lord, I love you. Lord, I'm giving you all of me. Then why would you? And I had to ask myself, like, you guys, come on now. I had to ask myself, why am I allowing myself to submit and please to this man when I'm supposed to be submitting and pleasing to God? Yes. And I'm not a licensed counselor, so I'm not proclaiming to be. But I'm just saying, I do some research. I do some studying. I learn from the experts and the gurus. Listen, I be ears plugged all the time, because it's so important that we know how we're showing up and have that level of awareness. Okay, you guys. So I want you guys to all take an assessment right now. You don't have to tell me. You can keep this between you and God. Like, are you in a situation with soul ties? Are you suffering from soul ties? And the truth be told, you can be single. You can be currently not in a relationship and be dealing with soul ties. I'm going to go back to that. Welcome, you guys. So many of you guys have jumped on. I feel a need to just reintroduce myself really quick as we continue to talk about really just love, sex, and relationships. And tonight we're talking about 3 things that will keep you from love. My name is Jo Bullock, and I'm extremely passionate about preparing and positioning women to attract healthy, happy love that leads to a God-centered marriage. I'm passionate about helping you to break through in your dating process and just reinventing yourself to the next best version of who God's called you to be in this season. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Alexis. So we were just talking about, you don't have to be currently in a boyfriend, girlfriend relationship or any other type of relationship to experience soul ties. You can experience soul ties from 5 years ago. You can experience soul ties from 10 years ago. If that person came around you today and it make you feel a certain type of way, you have bitterness, you have resentment, you have unforgiveness towards that person, that can be an indication of soul ties. And the truth be told, even though I'm really focused on the context of a man and a woman's relationship, it can also transpire across the same gender. You can also have that. So anytime you're in a toxic relationship where you've spent a lot of quality time together with a person and that person is not healthy for you, and that person somehow is, pulling you further away from God, that person somehow is pulling you closer to them, then it's a soul tie. You need to let your soul free, because you shouldn't be surrendering to a man. You shouldn't be surrendering to a woman. You shouldn't be surrendering to another person. You need to surrender fully to God. We talked about on last night, we talked about the scripture in Romans 12, 1 and 2, talking about being a living sacrifice for God. And that's the only one that you're surrendering to. That's the only one that you're sacrificing to. Listen, if you're doing anything else, newsflash, you are suffering from displaced loyalty. I said it. If you right now, and I've been there, and I said it, I say this not to boast, I say this not to put you down, I say this so you become aware, because the first step to healing is acknowledging that you have a problem. The first step to healing is acknowledging that there is indeed an issue that you need to rectify. And so if you identify in your life, like you're like, listen, I'm a believer, and Jill is like talking to me. She's talking about me. This was my last relationship. This was my relationship before. This is what I'm currently going through. Okay. Then you have to take assessment and say, I'm experiencing displaced loyalty. All right, you guys, you ready for number 2? Hopefully we can get through this whole thing. Hopefully we can get through the whole thing. Let's talk about number 2. If you're not already following this scope, I encourage you to follow the scope. Follow the scope. We're about to go on a scope train talking about love, sex, and relationships. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. I just shared with you guys one of my many stories in terms of toxic relationships and things I've experienced. And I just want somebody not to have to learn so hard, somebody not to have to go through what I went through, right? People used to say experience is the best teacher. Can somebody type the devil is a liar? The experience it could be a good teacher, but it's not the best teacher. Other people experience is the best teacher, because why are you going to go through the same drama, the same madness and mayhem that somebody has already conquered? Like, why don't you allow that to, you know what I'm saying? We don't got to learn so hard no more. Those days are over. The devil is a liar. Okay. All right, you guys. So the second thing I want to share with you guys that will block, that will just put salt all in your game when you're trying to love others and you want somebody and you desire love in your life, is dealing with rejection. And sometimes I say the spirit of rejection. I don't want to spook anybody out, but spirits are a real thing. Spirits are the real thing. One of the greatest plans of the enemy is having him to get us to think that the enemy is not real, that spirits are not real, that is something that people talk about. But the way you know that spirits are real is because it's manifested through people's personality. And when I start to realize that, I'm like, listen, spirits are no joke. They are a real thing. So the thing is rejection. And what I want to tell you about rejection, how do you know if you're dealing with what they call a spirit? Let me tell you what rejection is first. Let me slow down. Rejection is when you have a feeling that you feel like you cannot be your true self. You constantly feel the pressure to conform to something other than your natural self. You constantly feel the pressure to conform what other people want you to do, okay? And so then you feel like if I be me, I won't be good enough. I often think about the story of Julia, what's her name? Julia Roberts. She's an actor, and she played on Runaway Bride. And if you ever seen that movie, you recall that she was supposed to get married several times. But the problem was, every time somebody would propose to her, she would start freaking out. Because she would be like, oh my God, this man just proposed to me. And this whole time we've been dating, I've been going along to get along. If he liked basketball, I like basketball. If he liked football, I like football. If he wanted to go skiing, I want to go skiing. She lost her sense of self and her individuality because she constantly found herself conforming. And that's why I love Romans 12:2, when it talks about do not conform. Listen, when I heard that scripture, it freed me like nobody business. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing, ing, constantly happening, of your mind. Okay? So anyway, that's rejection. So it's manifested, meaning it shows up and display in your life as a result of, you'll see, like if you have issues trusting people, if you have a lack of confidence, if you are uncertain about who you are and how you're showing up, if you're constantly finding yourself seeking the approval of other people, if you're constantly conforming to what other people want you to do and what other people want you to be, you find yourself to be a people pleaser. Does anybody resonate with that? And again, this is no shade to nobody. This is no shade to nobody. So many people deal with this. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, wrote books about it. Going to have programs about it. Like, this is a real thing, and until you acknowledge and recognize what you're experiencing, then you can't overcome it. The proper saying is you cannot conquer what you do not confront. That's just the way it is. Okay? Now, let me tell you some situations. That cause rejection. Y'all ready? Some common situations that cause people to feel a spirit of this, feel like they've been rejected or they go through that, is like an absent parent. Imagine that now. You're like, if you're growing up as a kid and your father is supposed to be there for you, like he created you, like he was all up into the planning, whether intentionally or unintentionally, doesn't matter. He was all in the planning of your creation, you know, enlightened and empowered by God for you to be here. And he decided that he don't want to be in your life. He decided that he's not going to show up for you. He's decided that he's going to tell you he's going to be there, but he's never there. Or he shows up when you're 18, or he shows up when you're 25. That's rejection. Listen, if your mother ever told you that you were unplanned pregnancy, if your mother ever told you you were about to be aborted, or that she didn't want to have you, or she hated you, anything like that, any type of abuse, verbal, and it doesn't have to be a parent. It could even be from other relationships. Anytime you were in a relationship when you thought somebody owed you love, you thought somebody was going to give you love, and you loved them, and you were waiting and anticipating and desiring for their love to show up and for them to accept you and embrace you and to play their role and responsibility in their part in your life, and they did not do that, then you can experience rejection. Also with rape and other forms of abuse. All of that. Even if when you lost your virginity and the whole thing was a game, like in my situation, this guy was just trying to see how many girls he can conquer. Like after we had sex, like we never had sex again. Like I was his girlfriend number 3. Real talk. That's rejection. For you to pursue me, for somebody to pursue you, I don't talk about me. Somebody to pursue me for a year and convince me, girl, if you love me, you'll have love me. Girl, you know, whatever. Constantly wheeling me in. Come on, girl, I love you. And then I said, okay, I love you too. Okay, so if I love you, I'm going to have sex with you because that's proving that I'm making love to you. So that's proving my love for you. Okay. And I do that and he was like, no, I'm good. I don't want you again. That's rejection to the highest level. We even see that a biblical example with Tamar and her brother. I can't think, and I know I got some ministers in the room. Was it Absalom or I can't remember if it was Absalom or the other brother. One of David's sons pursued their sister. Okay, and I can't remember. I have none. I can't remember. You have to verify. I'm not sure. I'm sure. Okay, but one of David's sons pursued their sister. And he pretty much tricked her and act like he was cooking something. Oh no, he act like he was sick. And he wanted Tamar, to cook him something to eat. He was playing a game. He act like he was sick because he was sick in love with her. And then he wanted to have her in bed. So he fooled his daddy to let this girl come in his room, and he raped her. And then he told her, get out. He kicked her out. That's the highest level of rejection that one can experience in their life, right? So those are some examples of rejection, you guys. I want to look it up on the Google, but I don't think I have time. And I want to go over the last one. So the last thing I want to share is number three. The last thing I'm going to share is number 3, which is this is the third thing that will put salt up in your game, that would just hinder you from doing what you want to do, from just showing up like you want to show up. And that is dealing with rebellion. It's a real thing. And I believe out of all these, what I know to be true, I've experienced all 3 of these things in my life, right? And the last one that God's delivered me from is rebellion, okay? And the truth be told, the deliverance of it, and deliverance pretty much means when you have overcome, when that spirit no longer controls you, right? That you're being dominated by godly spirits and the things of God, and not these types of ungodly spirit, okay? So rejection shows up. And so the way that you know that you're delivered is that you no longer have the symptoms, okay? So rebellion shows up by being stubborn. If people ever tell you, oh my God, you're so stubborn. Oh my God, you always trying to be so controlling. I can't tell you nothing. Okay. You're not teachable. You always got to be right. Always. I know that was me. I might as well 1 hand up, 2 hands up. I would stand up if I would not be out of the frame of this video. But that was me, because I can't lie. Sometimes I'd be like, okay, I'd be thankful that I'm very analytical. I'm very methodical. So I'm always thinking and coming up with what I think is great ideas. And it's not even me. It's God, the God in me, that's enabling and allowing these things. And I spend a lot of time listening to things. I'm a lifelong learner. I just love learning. I really do. So when somebody like that, I have to be careful. And if you have any of these things, you have to be careful that you don't allow what you know to overshadow what you don't know. And because you're so determined to prove to other people what you know, that you can't even receive and learn what you don't know. And so one thing that's helped me, because I believe it is deliverance happens and helps, it helps with spiritual deliverance, but also even in natural practices. So in a natural practice for me with this is to learn to not focus on what I know. Because if you act like, if I act like, I know all of this, but the truth being told, of all the things that is to know in the world about any one topic, whether it's even a dating relationship, I feel like that's one of the areas I'm very versed on. But you think about it, of all of the information that could be learned on that topic, is infinite. And I probably know this much, like a dot, right? Probably a dot. So I've learned to focus on not what in my mind, that dot seems so big, right? But I focus on that infinite space that realize, man, I do know this little dot of information, but there's so much other things I don't know. Okay, so what else I have here? Other things: opposing authority, hate being told what to do. And that used to be me. Oh my God. Listen, truth moment. I used to be mad at my dad, and I didn't like my dad. God forgive me. I didn't like my dad because he was such a disciplinary, and he always was, tell me what to do. That's a spirit of rebellion. My dad was trying to help me. That man was trying to teach me the right way to go, and I'm being mad. And Lord, you need to do something with him. No, Lord needed to do something with me. So rebellion shows up in many ways. And the truth be told, if you have an issue and you rebel against earthly authority. Be careful, because all, A-L-L, all authority comes from God. That's very biblical, okay? And if you are rebelling against authority, you're rebelling against God's establishment. So you got to be careful. And the truth be told, even in that, if you decide that you don't want to be, and I know many of you guys aren't children, but I'm just using an example, dealing with your parents, or even when you do get married, you don't want to submit to your husband, or on your job, you don't want to submit to your boss, or perhaps if you are a minister and you don't want to submit to your pastor and his vision, you want to do your own thing. Listen, that's being disobedient. And when you're disobedient and rebelling against the authority that God established, you are rebelling against God. So you got to be careful. So then the question therein lies is, how can you be a wife that's submissive? How can you be a wife, that's going to be able to cater to your man and the things that he needs? How can you play your role as a helpmate if you constantly want to do what you want to do? You want to have your own agenda. You want to lead the way. You are out of order. Type. I need to get me a mantle. I'm going to get me a mantle. What's that? Listen. Out of order. Out of order. Court and no, we're out of order. Out of order. And truth be told, I feel like I need to come back and do a part 2 on out of order alone. The truth be told, that's why many relationships are suffering. That's why many people are not thriving in their marital relationship, and it's heartbreaking. I spoke to a coworker today, and I asked him, I said, how is your wife? He got married about 3 or 4 years ago, and I said, how's your wife? And he showed me his hands, and there was no ring. And there was no ring. I was so torn. I was so heartbroken. There's so many people. I got married 4 years ago, you guys. There's so many people who got married either before me, around the same time that I got married, or after I got married, and their marriage has crumbled. And I do believe it's because a lot of these things right here, people are dealing with soul ties, they're dealing with rejection, they're dealing with rebellion, and they don't know how to show up and be submissive to the husband. Now, I'm not going to tell you to feel anybody's saying you got to, he's going to command you what to do, and, you don't have a voice. Again, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. You know what I'm saying? But what it does mean is you let him take his position as leader. And if you don't want a man to lead you, you don't trust him enough to lead you, then he's not your husband. He's not the man that God has appointed in your life. So you need to go ahead and release him and let him go, because that's not for you. You have to respect him. I'm just saying. We got to be in order. We got to be in God's divine order. So I can take one question. Tonight we talked about soul ties, rejection, and rebellion. Thank you so much, Pastor C, for sticking on the whole time. I'm so grateful that you're here, and definitely honored. Definitely respect your ministry and love what you're doing. So glad that you're here. And many of you guys been jumping in and out. So if you guys have one question, I'll take one question. We're going to continue this train. We're going to continue talking. I feel like now I want to talk about out of order. But maybe I'll come back. Not tonight. I'm not going to tell you that story. But this weekend and starting definitely Monday through Friday, I want to hit in at least once. And I'm thinking we got a call already on Monday at 8. So that makes it difficult. So I'm going to say between 6 and 8. That's what I can commit to right now. I need to be a little flexible. I'm glad you enjoyed it, my dear. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So I'm going to do a countdown. So if you guys have any questions, and then I'm going to run because I actually have a meeting at my church that's not too far from my residence. So I'm going to head over there to connect with some amazing Christian entrepreneurs and find out how I can support them, how I can service them, and all that good jazz. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that we do have a love challenge that's coming up in honor of Valentine's Day. We do have a love challenge that's coming up, and I want to invite you to join. The love challenge, you can find out more at tinyurl.com/lovechallenge2017. Again, that's tinyurl.com/lovechallenge2017. I almost forgot. I was so caught up. I was so caught up in this message, I almost forgot to share it with you. It is $1 a day, and it's for 14 days, starting on February 14th, okay? And it goes for 14 days, and it's various ministers that shares with you a lesson on how to love, what is love, how to receive love, okay? Because like I said, if you're dealing with rejection, if you're dealing with rebellion, you have a hard time receiving love, and you'll have a hard time giving love. Because understand, respect is love. Understand, submitting is a symbol of love. All right, you guys. So I don't think anybody have any questions. Make sure you're following the scope. I'm so glad to be back on Scope Land. I've been back but only like once a week, which is like a huge difference when I was on 2 and 3 times a day. Don't think I'm gonna go back there. I don't think I'm going there because I can't sustain that over 30 days. Like after 30 days, I get burnt out, and then I feel like I need to take a month off. So I'm working on balancing this out, and so I said, let me do 1 a day. I should be able to do that. Like I can do 1 a day, especially Monday through Friday. So that's what we're going to be working on. May pop in this weekend. But anyway, I love you guys. God love you the best. I encourage you to join the 14-day challenge. Each day, we will send you an email with a daily challenge in regards to how to love, and we also will send you a video. It's like I think the videos range from 20 to 35 minutes of video training from whether it's myself, whether it's Treal, and we have a lot of other amazing women that's part of the Detour Movement community. I didn't mention that, but I am the founder of Detour Movement Incorporated, and it's just a ministry all about renewing your mind so you can transform your life, so you can create and live a life that's unrecognizable, so you can walk out to be authentically and exactly who God called you to be. So I'm not going to tarry. I need to run. Be blessed. Thank you for joining. I love you and God love you best. Join us at tinyurl.com. Love Challenge 2017. Be blessed.